Bong Joon Ho, is an incredible director. Parasite, just, I think, one of the most brilliant movies, and just so well done. That's one of the reasons I thought, oh, this is why I'm really excited about this movie. But I don't think anybody else was. Welcome to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. We're talking about Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson stars as Mickey, who's got to get off Earth, and he decides to hop onto a ship that's going to colonize another planet. But Mickey goes on as an expendable, which means he can be killed over and over and over and be printed out again.
And who doesn't want that?
You're an expendable. You're here to be expended.
Every time I died, they just printed me out again.
Everyone asks you, what's it feel like to die?
We'll also be playing a game that we call Was It in the Script? Famous ad-libs that became really famous movie quotes. But can you tell them from things that were in the script? Let's get some initial takes on Mickey 17. Jeremy Gover.
I don't know what I watched. That's actually not true. I do know what I watched. But my point is that the first probably, I'm just going to guess, 2/3 of the movie, I literally did not know where it was going. I didn't see a clear goal. I didn't see a clear plot line. I just saw a bunch of characters that I was rooting for and not rooting for. I got that part of it, but I didn't know what I was going to watch. I didn't know where it was going to end up. I didn't know anything. And it's not necessarily in the best way. There's ways you can do that are kind of interesting. Oh, okay, I'm here for it, whatever. Whatever comes at me is fine. I didn't have that. I had this guy named Mickey, and he had this girlfriend who they were sleeping together, and then he keeps dying, and then they go to this planet, and then all of a sudden there's a duplicate, and then she likes the duplicate, and then they're still on this planet, and they're running out of food rations, and I'm like, where is this going? There, that's my initial take from Mickey 17.
Well, I'll agree it's a hard-to-define movie. That's for sure. My initial take was this movie reminds me of a very short era of filmmaking. I guess it would be the 90s, maybe, where you had sci-fi comedy, like The Fifth Element. It's a very small niche genre, and to have an Oscar-winning director do it, I was excited for this movie. It's probably one of the biggest things I was looking forward to in 2025, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for its wicked satire, its absurdity, and I kind of liked the unpredictability. So, Mr. Bradford.
Yeah, it was a little longer than it needed to be, but overall, I was definitely entertained and curious the entire time. Here's the thing for me, because you talk about the period in the 90s with some satire. For me, this gave major Starship Trooper vibes.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the other movie I would put in that category.
Because of the satire and take on society. Like, if you watch Starship Troopers at a surface level, okay, you're probably going to be entertained. You're like, what is this? Okay, it's an action sci-fi movie.
Right.
But if you dive a little bit deeper into Starship Troopers, you know that it's anti-war, military-industrial complex. There's so many layers.
There's a lot of themes there, yeah.
And as a kid watching Starship Troopers, I was like, okay, that was fun, but I didn't understand as a kid.
They killed bugs. They exploded,
right.
Yeah.
You watch it again, you're like, oh, there's so much more. Same thing here. Now, some of the satire is really direct.
It is.
Some of it's a little more wink-wink, but there's a lot of direct satire here in what they're trying to accomplish in the story they're trying to tell in so many different ways, and I appreciate that. While obviously not my favorite movie, and it's not something that's going to get like a 9.0 from me, I appreciate the satirical take with science fiction and the story they told in its take on society. I can appreciate a movie does something different, because here's the thing. People want something different. This is something different.
Yes, it is.
We have not seen this before. While I say it gives Starship Troopers vibes, it is not Starship Troopers by any means in the same fashion. It gives that vibe of what they're trying to accomplish in the storytelling. But it is something different and unique, and we don't get that as often, so that's why I can appreciate what they did with this film.
Yes. And even though it is adapted from a book, it's really not an IP anybody was familiar with, you know? So, like, bravo, bring that on. You know, it's not another sequel. But then again, people didn't go see it. The box office very low. You know, why are they making sequels? They're going to see the sequels and not these original movies from, you know, Bong Joon Ho, like, is an incredible director. Parasite, just, I think, one of the most brilliant movies and just so well done. That's one of the reasons I thought, oh, this is why I'm really excited about this movie. But I don't think anybody else was. I don't think they knew what to make of it from trailers. There wasn't much marketing. And, you know, this movie is weird. If you like weird, I think it's going to be a cult classic. I don't think it's a mainstream hit movie.
The only places I saw it advertised were in the trailers of movie theaters. So unless you're going to the theater, you probably weren't as aware of it, which we are because of what we do. But outside advertising, there wasn't anywhere near as much.
No, but I would argue, and you like to say this all the time, right? The movie's not for you. For example, like I'll say, like, hey, this didn't reach me, but it's cool. And you're like, yeah, but the movie wasn't made for you, right? So is that the case here, where they kind of just knew, look, this is not a mass audience release? The distributor, of course, wants it to be mass audience because that's how they make money. But I mean, as far they just kind of know that, okay, if you're in the theater, you'll be interested. If you're not in the theater, we don't care.
And we're going to put this trailer at the beginning of certain movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Because those movies might have some fans for this.
And there's still plenty of Robert Pattinson fans out there.
Oh, yes, there are.
Want to see it for him. And
he's great, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
he's great.
He's great. And that, for me, is what was interesting just about why people weren't going to see it. Because I didn't see many people talking about it, and I've seen people comment my social media posts, even though I'm late to seeing it. It's not premiere anymore, right? Same with so many other movies where people are like, oh, I was curious about it, but maybe I'll just wait for streaming.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's 140 minutes long.
It's too long.
Why is this movie 2 hours and 20 minutes? Well, it's not 2 hours 20. I think literally it's like 2:15. But the point is that why is it that long? This did not need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes long. No. There's no way.
They could have cut a little. I didn't feel like I was there too long.
I did. But again, because I didn't know what I couldn't see an end goal. It was just like, here's something. I'm like, okay.
The second act dragged a little bit for me. That's really where it was, where I feel like they could have chopped a little bit off, because getting into the third act, like, okay, we're finally seeing what the end goal here is.
And so I was into it.
Yeah, so I think this is the second act in terms of figuring some things out. But for me, I was into it the whole time because I understood it.
Was that a little jab?
It was a dig at me.
It was a jab.
It is.
I'm sorry.
I'm okay with that.
I felt like I understood.
We're comfortable enough in our friendship.
I feel like I understood what they were trying to accomplish.
That this happens so often in our friendship that I'm used to it by now.
Well, I'm just waiting for Gober to go.
I'm an idiot, and he's. That's my argument.
One, he's not an idiot.
You've called me such on this show.
He's a stupid dumbass sometimes, but he's not an idiot.
There it is.
But it's interpretation, right? Not everybody's. It's not going to click everybody right off the bat, right? So for me, I was more into it to where I was already judging it in terms of, okay, well, they could have done so much more. They didn't have to do all this to explain it to the audience to make it click.
That's right.
Maybe some people they felt like they did, but I felt like it was just too long. Chop 15 minutes off in the second act. You still would have accomplished your goal, what you're trying to say, what is right, what is wrong, your take on society, all those types of things. They could have done that with 15 minutes less, I believe. And there are some things that just drag on too long in certain scenes as well, too, especially with Kenneth Marshall. There are some of these scenes with Mark Ruffalo where they're trying to give him more satirical screen time, I believe, to really just pound home the message of who they're doing the satire against.
And to increase the anger against that character.
Exactly.
The disgust and the whole, how can he be so dumb?
You got to make a villain, who's really secretly being, worked by people behind the scenes.
Yes.
Bong Joon Ho says this is an amalgamation, that character, of all kinds of different people. But there's no way in the atmosphere we're in right now that people don't see this as the current president of the United States, or a televangelist. There's a little bit of that religious cult
I would
thing.
argue there's more of that, actually.
Yeah, because he's all those things. This character in this movie,
And they even slip up on purpose.
Yeah.
And what they call things.
Yeah.
Like there's slip ups in the script to say, to trigger certain audience members that maybe still aren't getting it.
right?
Like we are going to pound this message home to you.
Which is a whole other problem, by the way. We sit around this show all the time. We're always like, look, you may have a message that I agree with, but when I get pounded over the head with something, I'm not interested. I resist immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is that way. I'm just
Because I
saying
thought it was funny when
it
you
was
said the
so
church.
blatant.
I mean, your support. I mean,
No, yeah. They made it funny. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, it was borderline too much
Right.
for me. Because I was like, okay, I hate him. I don't know what more you need to...
like stop
Right.
with the neon
Yeah.
blinking sign. Okay.
This guy. It's like, no, I got it.
evil.
Yeah, I got it.
Robert Pattinson. Let's talk about him. My respect grows for him, and I've always thought he was pretty good. But at first I didn't know what to make of his voice, and his voice came to eventually become something I loved, and a unique character voice. He kind of went. I guess Bronx is what he's
Yes.
been describing it as.
But higher pitch, too.
Yeah, and it was a unique voice. And then for him to play variations on the same
Yes.
person, especially, Mickey 17 and 18, and for you to be able to tell the difference, this is one of those movies where I think you're going to enjoy it on a big screen. One, it's beautiful. It makes incredible movies. The look of this film is, I think, really cool. But to see those subtle variations in, the replicas, the copies that they make of Mickey, that's not always the same every time they 3D print him, is a credit to Robert Pattinson and what he brought to this role. I just thought he was terrific.
And I'll say, too, I thought he was, again, I said excellent in this. But to me, that's got to be when you're an actor and you get a script like that, with a character like that on it, where you get to play basically multiple iterations of the same character.
Multiples.
That's
Right.
got to be exciting, I would think.
Yeah,
I
challenge.
get to really play. It's a play box.
Yeah.
You get a sandbox. You get to play in all these different things. And if that doesn't work, I'll just use them for the minor one. And if that doesn't work, I'll wait for that.
You get to challenge yourself.
Yes.
And most actors, I believe, want to challenge themselves
Yes.
to be better, to harness
Absolutely.
their craft,
Yeah.
to see what they can do, especially within one film. And the technology's gotten so much better nowadays, too, where you can have them on screen and it doesn't look like a split.
Yeah.
It's so much better and more fluid now, too, to where you truly feel like there are two different versions of the same person, more like twins, where they're obviously related, but they weren't the
Right.
same. And he did a wonderful job.
Great
of doing
job.
that.
All right, let's get some scores on Mickey 17. Let's start with Jeremy Gover.
There are times where I wish there were Govers 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. But this is not one of them. Mickey 17 was entertaining to a degree, meaning the third act I thought was awesome, had me riveted, edge of my seat, all those things, smiling, depending on what was happening, obviously. I really cared for the aliens. Like, I really found myself, not that I wouldn't, but I'm saying I really found myself caring for were they going to meet their demise? Was it going to be just the one? I visibly shook when she cut its tail off and was just talking about it like it's a sauce. Mm-hmm. It really got me. And I was like, okay, clearly this movie is connected with me in some way, right? So for me, it's not all lost. I loved all the performances, like Jim said. I thought all the actors did great. I thought it was an interesting premise. I do love seeing something new. Something new is real. We're critics, you guys. We see hundreds of movies a year, and it's so refreshing to see something new that's also entertaining. This was entertaining. All that being said, it was probably 20 minutes too long for me. I don't know why it was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know. There was no clear goal in mind for the first 2/3. I didn't know what the hell was happening. And you don't necessarily need that, but when it's this long, your brain is searching for, where are we going with this? Where is the end goal? And I didn't see that until, again, about 2/3 of the way through. So, all that being said, I give Mickey a 6.5. I enjoyed it. I will not probably be watching it again, and I definitely won't be buying it. So 6.5 for me.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of positive,
Yes,
a lot
is.
of negative, and
A whole lot of Gover.
yeah, that's
Also
it.
that.
Gover be Gover it.
I think you're over too hard this time.
Gover.
Bradford, what'd you score this film?
Yeah, I was curious the entire time because I didn't know where it was going to go, and you knew there's most likely going to be some sort of solution and quote unquote happy ending of some sort that a certain villain has to die, right? Like, right. Like, you're making him over the top. He has to meet his demise, right?
You know it.
So I just wanted that nice sauce of his demise.
Wow.
I like that. Good callback.
But it kept me curious, and it was something new, and that's what I enjoyed the most about it, is that yes, it may be based on a book, was not familiar with it at all, so I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what to expect. The trailers kept it very vague in terms of what they were trying to accomplish.
Which I appreciate. I do appreciate.
Yes. So I will say, if you are at all curious about the film, give it a chance. Watch it. You may like it, you may love it, you may not, but this has all the makings of a potential cult classic in the sci-fi world. Yeah. It's kind of like how Mars Attacks, kooky, crazy. Some people love, some people absolutely hate it, but you see like the cast of Mars Attacks is nuts, right? And there's just some people that watch it as a comfort movie.
Yeah,
per se, but it has the makings of that as well too. That's a slow burn and gradual build up as people discover, especially on streaming.
I think streaming is going to be where this finds its people.
It
See, I would
absolutely
disagree.
will.
I would disagree
Really?
with that because
Really?
streaming is where you're going to investigate it. But if
Right.
it's 2 hours and 20 minutes and you don't see an end goal in 2 hours of it, well, okay, probably an hour and 45. You're up doing other stuff. You're doing laundry. You're checking your phone. You're making dinner for the family.
Enough people are going to be curious enough with Robert Pattinson.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's eventually going to wear off. That's my point. When you're in a theater, you're trapped. Is what I'm saying. You're more invested.
I get where you were going. That was a problem for you. I don't know if people
That's
checking out this movie are going to be sitting there saying that same thing.
That's fair.
Of where is this going?
Right? Because if they're curious, they're going to watch it to the end because they're curious enough.
Okay.
Right.
There's going to be plenty of people that aren't at all curious.
Sure.
And they're just not even going to give it a chance.
Okay.
And that's okay as well. But if you're curious at all about that, there's something that we've said or something as well that is just pique your curiosity, give it a chance, because if it at least has piqued your curiosity, you're at least going to be over the 5.0 range, I would say. Yeah. Just given the performances and the story and things like that, you're going to at least have a decent time watching, not feel like it was a waste of your time. Because I don't think Over thinks it's a waste of his time.
No.
It's just not something he's going to invest in again.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair.
I don't know if he heard the movie over his own internal screaming of "Where is this going?" But maybe you did. I don't know.
I mean, I like that impression because that's basically the view that I have of him.
As calm as I see him, folks.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
What number are you giving this film?
I am going with a 7.5.
Okay. All right. I enjoyed the themes of this movie. I enjoyed them more with the Mickey character than I do with the villain. It was over the top. I got it. I understood it. It was kind of funny in spots. But I really enjoyed Mickey's journey. Maybe it did take a little while. It could have been sped up a little bit. But I really enjoyed that, spoiler alert, Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 had their differences. But, in the climax of this movie, Mickey 18 pulls up some of the sweeter, kinder, selfless Mickey 17 to take out Kenneth Marshall. And Mickey 17, just right after that, when, his girlfriend says, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to do what Mickey 18 would do. So they each kind of like exchanged some of their personality and like learned from each other. So like, to me, I love themes. I could sit there and talk to you like, let's talk about, what does this mean? And so throughout the movie, I enjoyed all those different things, questions it makes you ask. How valuable is life if you can just reprint it? And are people at the bottom of the chain expendable, truly, which is kind of what life is on Earth. There's a lot of people that are taken advantage of by a select group of very rich, powerful people. So to me, that's what I go and see a movie from this director for. And it delivered on that. I was going 7.5, 8, but I'm going to stick with the 8. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
It's time on the Untitled Film Project Podcast where we're going to play a game, and everybody can play along.
We are, but this is where the big question is. So we're going to do some big questions, but with a theme, right? Mm-hmm. So, Jim, tell us what the theme is for the big question segment.
Was it in the script?
That's the big question, technically.
So
that's how we're making it work, you see.
It's really, were some famous movie quotes that have survived, for decades, ad-libbed on the spot in the movie, and they just decided to leave them in there? There's a lot of them that are. We'll see if you guys and people watching, listening, can guess correctly whether it was in the script or if it was ad-libbed and just kept in the movie.
How many do we have?
I have 9.
Okay. We'll see if we can get through at least 5.
Okay, let's do it. All right, let's start off Moana 2. Moana, the original. Can I get a Chee-hoo? From Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We're ever going to take this one? Was
it in the script?
You're a Disney guy, so.
Or was it an ad-lib that just became a thing?
That is actually difficult. It's animation, and it depends on the process of animation sometimes, too, and how they animate for it. I'm going to go with it was in the script.
Go over.
I'm going to go improvised.
It was in the script. It was, planned out.
I just don't give Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that credit.
No, I know, but we know what Robin Williams did with Aladdin.
Yeah.
And how the animators animated around him.
Whoa. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No.
Robin Williams.
No. I'm piggybacking off of the animation process.
Okay, fair.
And I'm saying he was in the booth just saying stuff, and they took the animation and made it.
They're like, go with that.
Yeah. Well, The Rock's just saying, how much is going to make me?
All right.
Right.
All right. Different kind of movie. Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yes. Okay.
King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me. Was it in the script or was it ad-libbed? Gover, what do you think?
I think it was in the script because his other line that I cannot say because I'm white was ad-libbed. I've seen Antoine Fuqua mention it several times on several shows that he just came up with it on the spot and everyone was like, whoa. So I'm going to say this one was in the script.
I think this one was in the script.
It was an ad-lib. Yeah. They just said, did you catch that?
Gotta hope you caught that.
Were we rolling on that? Yeah, good.
Wow.
Okay.
Denzel's the beast, dude.
All right. The next one, we're going to go classic comedy, and this is a salute to a beloved actor, Gene Hackman, who we just lost. His character of the blind man in the cabin in Young Frankenstein. The last lines he says as Frankenstein storms off. Where are you going? I was going to make espresso. Was it in the script or did he ad-lib?
I think that's an ad-lib.
I'm going to say script because it screams Mel Brooks.
It was ad-libbed.
Golly, you're terrible at this game.
All right. One of the biggest movies ever, Jaws, You're Going to Need a Bigger Boat. Gover, was it in the script?
I'm going to stick with it. I think it was in the script, yes.
Bradford.
Yeah, I think that was in the script.
Both right on that one.
Hey, I got
one! Okay, we saw her blow the audience away in the SNL 50 special. Cher in Moonstruck. Snap out of it! Was it in the script?
I think it was ad-libbed.
I'm going to say in the script.
It was in the script.
Don't call it a comeback. No, that's not it.
All right, Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey.
Oh, no. It's going to be...
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
That's 100% ad-libbed. That's Jim Carrey all day.
That's ad lib.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It sure was. It sure was.
Golly, there's nothing more Jim Carrey than
I almost peed when I first saw that line in the movie.
funny.
That first showing. Okay, this is Hunt for Red October. Sam Neill. I would have liked to have seen Montana as he's dying. Was it in the script? Bradford.
I think script.
I'm gonna go ad libbed because it's Sam Neill and not that funny.
It was in the script.
I don't think Sam Neill had lives much.
Yeah, I don't think he's capable. Yeah,
But I think he's putting it in here, so I thought, you
just like ultra reverse Uno'd yourself.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yes. Just turn back on
you
yourself.
knew.
All right. I think we can get through these.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Get two more. The Shining, Jack Nicholson. Here's Johnny. Was it in the script? Go over.
He's crazy enough that he would make that up on the spot. I'm going to go with improv.
I think improvised.
You are both right. Jack Nicholson does a lot of ad lib, improv in The Departed.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! I don't know if you've ever seen where she felt funny.
Oh yes, that's
like there's some great interview stuff with Matt Damon, who talks about Jack Nicholson.
That's awesome.
Doing that and keep adding things to the script over and over. It was just amazing. Last one is Chris Hemsworth in Thor. He throws the mug after he says, "This drink, I like it." Was it ad-libbed or was it in the script?
I think ad-libbed.
Gover. Coffee shop. It's a great scene.
It's in the script, just to be different from Bradford.
Ad-libbed. I hope you did well watching or listening to this. This has been the Untitled Film Project Podcast. Let's give our individual social media handles. So if anybody wants to follow.
First, I want
somebody
to make sure there's a little tally of who won that game.
There will be.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I kicked your ass.
I got them all right.
I'll have another!
Because I was
There will be a tally.
Okay, good.
I was Ken Jennings on Jeopardy! I had all the answers right in front of me. I knew.
I'm at Justin B. Bradford.
I'm at It's Go Overtime on Twitter and the Blue Sky.
And I am at Jim Chandler Now.
And we are the Untitled Film Project Podcast. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. All the thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.